This week, tight ends. Let's find out who's up and who's not. I promise you, there's going to be some surprises. Hey, what's going on, guys? This Big Guy Fantasy Sports stream here. Got a lot of things going on, and we're ready to do tight ends, man. We've been doing the tier stream every single week, and go through quarterbacks, running backs, tight ends, just try to figure out everything else. And here we are at tight ends. One of the best tight ends in the world is Brock Bowers, and he's been killing it and doing a lot of things. But I'm gonna tell you this straight up: I'm a firm believer in waiting on tight end, man. Brock Bowers last year averaged 15.5 points per game, man. He wasn't even the top tight end. I don't know how many people need to hear that outside of this, but 15.6 points per game, just a smidge ahead, was Trey McBride. Number one tight end was George Kittle, 15.8. So many people all of a sudden at the back end of round one, like I said, on to round two, are drafting tight ends. I just can't do it, man. But hey, don't worry about that. I'm here to give you some insight on the top 12, give you a couple other players, and let's figure out where we're going to go. So let's go ahead and start. Like I said, Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers was third in the NFL in receptions last year with 112 receptions. This dude, he looked like maybe the greatest tight end that we've seen in a long time. But are we just kind of filling in for the Travis Kelce old school days where he was scoring points? That's how I feel. Bowers, McBride, McBride caught 111 passes, one less than Bowers. That's insane. So these guys, they just keep playing. They keep doing what they want to do, and they're always going to be good tight ends. But at the same time, I got something for you. Something a lot of people don't want to hear. In skill position wise for fantasy football, last year, Brock Bowers and Trey McBride weren't in the top 30. You do realize that 15 running backs, 15 wide receivers on a point per game basis outscored them. That's insane. But that's okay. You're still thinking about a tight end advantage. I get that. They're not the same as what we saw back in the day with Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce back in the day owned the tight end position. It was his greatest accomplishment. This man was scoring 20, 21, 22, 23 points per game. He was scoring over 10 points per game more than the tight end 12 back then. Now, Bowers and them, they're not even close. So what I'm gonna tell you is let's go ahead and skip from 1, 2, and 3. Bowers and McBride 100% deserve to be the tight end 1 and 2. But let's go to tight end 3, George Kittle. George Kittle is one of those players that if you weren't to think about fantasy, he might be the greatest tight end of all time. He blocks, he does everything great. Craziest part about him, he hasn't had over 100 targets since 2019, excuse me. That's crazy. But every year, except for the 2020 season, he's been a top 4 tight end. He's all about efficiency. He scores points. As a matter of fact, last year, in points per game, he averaged 15.8 points per game in a PPR setting, ahead of Trey McBride at second, 15.6, and Brock Bowers at 15.5. That's crazy. You're talking about a tight end. They did all that, and, on less than 100 targets. And he still does that. McBride, Bowers, they're getting 100 plus targets every single year. 100, 112, 120. Kittle, no. But he still outscored them on a point per game basis. It's wild. And if you really think about it more than that, Kittle doesn't have competition anymore. They traded Deebo Samuel, or let Deebo Samuel go. Jawan Jennings, the other wide receiver there, he's in a contract dispute and is banged up. Brandon Ayuk isn't expected back till week 6. So all we got is Ricky Pearsall. I mean, he did. How many rookies can get shot? You know what I mean? But Ricky Pearsall's a beast. I love him too. You read my articles, you'll see that. But George Kittle is going to be a monster in a Shanahan offense. So once you start looking at tight ends that way, we've gone through the first 3. I mean, I don't care who you are. That's probably your first 3 for anybody. We get to number 4 on consistency basis. Travis Kelce. This man is insane. He's had 100 plus targets every single season since 2015. That's you're talking about a decade. And, it's the Chiefs. We already know. I mean, they're going to put up points. They're going to do things. They got Super Bowl championship rings. It's what they do. But more importantly, you start looking at the notes lately. Travis Kelce has already told everybody he apologized for last season. Like, he wasn't in the greatest health and doing all this. And he still caught like 90 passes and finished his tight end, 7 last year in points per game? Are you kidding me? 12.2 per game. So 3 points less than the leader or right around it. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. He also goes 50 picks later than Brock Bowers. In any league you're in, and don't get me wrong, there's some crazy settings out there. You can have double tight ends or tight end premium and do all kinds of stuff. But in a 1 tight end premium league, points per game, there's no way that Travis Kelce, 3 points per game less, goes 50 picks later than the value is insane. So let's keep going and go down the list. After that, we've got several tight ends, consistency-wise, and do a lot of stuff. And I'm going to tell you, hey, I'm going to plug this. If you haven't seen it yet, Bob Lung has some of the greatest consistency tools in the world. They've changed my league too. So hey, you should look at it. I'm gonna promise you that. Those top 4 tight ends, mostly consistent. Kelce has been insanely consistent until this past season. Hockenson, LaPorta. We all know. It's the Minnesota Vikings. They got J.J. McCarthy, and they're all sexy picked out, right? Right? Of course they are. Sam LaPorta. They're the Lions. They score a ton of points. Guess what? Sam LaPorta in the last 2 years, his rookie year, he scored 10 touchdowns. His second year, he scored 7. They've been propping up his score so bad, man. And I'm going to tell you what. Bob and I had a conversation about it earlier. Sam LaPorta is on the bottom end of the level where Jamison Williams in that offense is that little mountain climber coming up mountain on Price is Right. He's just running up. They keep looking for ways to give him more opportunities. Sam LaPorta propped up by touchdowns. I'm out 100%. TJ Hockenson, everybody's going to hate me when I say that I'm out on him because first 3 weeks with Addison, Jordan Addison. He's got a 3-game suspension he's going to have to deal with. But when he comes back, it's kind of a Dallas Goedert situation. As long as A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith are healthy, Goedert is the last in line. Same thing with Hockenson. When they get Jefferson's there, when we get Addison back after 3 games, Hockenson is third in line. There's nothing going to help him continue to be a number 2 top offensive look there. We know that. And we're also banking on a rookie quarterback. I mean, do I believe McCarthy's going to be good? I do. Kevin O'Connell offense? Come on. Let's be serious. But do I believe he can Peyton Manning it out and bring up Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, and Julius Thomas? No, I don't think so. There's a good chance LaPorta might be able to hold that tight end 12 line with touchdowns with Williams and Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown's a beast. But at the end of the day, I'm fading both of them 100%. Then we go to Mark Andrews. So now we've gone through Bowers, McBride, Kittle, top 3. Kelce, Hockenson, LaPorta. We've gone through 6 now. Andrews at 7. I'm sorry, Baltimore Ravens fans. We caught some news today. I know y'all know that. We're looking at the right hand of Lamar Jackson today. He got banged up a little bit. Right hand, throwing hand. Hope to God it's nothing, but that has nothing to do with my fate of Mark Andrews, man. Love Mark Andrews. Towards the end of the year, he crushed it, put up some really consistent games. But people forget the fact that he scored double-digit touchdowns last year. My biggest fate on Mark Andrews, and like I said, I love him, but my man dropped a touchdown in the playoffs that could have changed everything for the whole Ravens franchise. There's no coming back from that, man. I hate to say it. I don't care how talented you are. I don't care what you do. That hurt. And, hey, add me, Jay Keezy, come talk about it on X. Let's talk about it. But I'm going to tell you, man, teams are not going to be like, hey, your production is based on touchdowns. In the biggest time we needed you, you failed. It's not going to happen. And that's it. We go past that. We start getting into the nitty-gritty of the tight ends, right? We've gone past tight end 7. We're going to tight end 8. Tight end 8, Evan Engram. Oh, man. This dude. Love this dude. My man posted on X, threw up the Joker. I'll be honest. Huge Broncos fan. Anybody who follows me, anybody who knows anything, y'all know I know. We traded away Devon Vele today. I say we, like I'm part of the Broncos organization, but that's all right. I got you. And it's what it is. Evan Engram has a possibility to be a top 2 target 100% in Denver. And like I said, I'm a Denver fan. Love me some Cortland Sutton. But Ingram's got a shot, man. If Sean Payton decides that's his Joker and really rolls with it, he's gonna roll and do a lot of things, and it's gonna be amazing. We're talking about a guy who's a couple years removed from over 100 receptions in a dysfunctional Jaguars offense, but he's got a chance. Love him. I would actually take him well above LaPorta, Andrews, and do all that. But at the end of the day, like I said, if I'm not getting one of the top 3, if they haven't fallen to me in the first 4 rounds of a draft, probably waiting. On a consistency tier level basis, next up is Jake Ferguson, man. Jake Ferguson, the Dallas Cowboy guy, huh? I'm so out on him. I can't see straight, man. It hurts my feelings. And I understand. And there's nothing wrong with Jake Ferguson. He is the security blanket that has been the security blanket forever. But we also saw that with Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz did it in Dallas. Then the Texans gave him some money, and they're still waiting on that same Dalton Schultz. On top of that, guess what they did? Oh my God. The Cowboys brought in George Pickens. George Pickens was the number one receiver in Pittsburgh. I just don't know that I can understand the fact that unless somehow Dak Prescott turns into Peyton Manning from the year where he had Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, and Julius Thomas scored 10 touchdowns, I just can't see it. The crazy part about that was Demaryius and Emmanuel Sanders were not big touchdown guys. That's where Julius Thomas came in. In Dallas, I just don't see it that way. Pickens and Lamb are big time red zone threats. I don't see how Jake Ferguson carves out a role there unless there's some sort of injury or do whatever. I'm super out on Ferguson. And crazy part after that is the next guy behind him is Dalton Kincaid in our tier list. Kincaid is in a fully open wide receiver room. There's no CeeDee Lamb. There's no George Pickens. Top wide receiver there is Khalil Shakir. I want you guys to post in the comments and tell me what round was Khalil Shakir drafted in. Just want you to, hey, just tell me. Come reach out on X and tell me what it is. So at the end of the day, I can't take Kincaid. Kincaid could finish as high as 4 or 5, but he could also just drop off my list. We got 2 more tight ends after that to finish up with tight end 12s. David Njoku, Tucker Kraft. I'd move both of them up 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 spots. Both of them are 100% athletic. They have yards after the catch ability for the last several years, they've been right behind like George Kittle's and stuff like that. If you give them some touches in an open wide receiver room, Njoku has to beat out Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, and what? Tucker Kraft has to beat out all the wide receivers last year that had less than 76. Oh my God, that's right. The wide receiver 1 in Green Bay was Dontavian Wicks last year on targets. He had 76. Yeah, not really worried about that. So I'm going to tell you this. If you're waiting around for tight end this year, there's so many other picks that you can get. Don't worry about what you can see here. Again, look at who can be top 2 targets on their team. We look through it. Bowers, he's got a shot. Yeah, McBride. But I'm talking about there at the top. Kittle was the number 1 points per game getter. We're not talking about the top 3. I'm talking about once you start waiting. Travis Kelce going in the 5th, 6th round. Crazy. Fade Hockenson, fade LaPorta, fade Andrews, fade I say fade Engram, but I wouldn't hate him. Ferguson, fade. Kincaid, fade. Njoku, Kraft, heavy. Then we get to the bottom tiers of let's throw out some sleepers. Sleepers after that, Jonnu Smith, man. We saw what he did last year in Miami. They could scheme plays up for him. Now he's in Pittsburgh, whereas DK Metcalf and a bunch of, I don't even know what you would call that wide receiver room. Sorry. But it's going to be Metcalf, Jonnu Smith, Freiermuth. And Jonnu Smith, if he gets 100 targets, man, there ain't no way he's not a top 12 tight end. After that, Dallas Goedert, any hurt injuries to A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, that makes Dallas Goedert a star, man. He's like the T-move version of George Kittle. He blocks well. He does everything the team wants him to do. After that, I've got a sleeper myself, Brenton Strange. He's in Jacksonville now. We've already seen what Trevor Lawrence can do in Jacksonville, and we know that he'll hit tight ends. We saw Evan Engram, 100-plus receptions there. Brenton Strange has a high IQ for football. He knows how to go get it, knows how to do things. And I understand. There's Brian Thomas Jr. there, 100% top wideout. Travis Hunter. I'm not sold on Hunter. I love the fact I wish they would make him a number one wideout, tell him he was going to play offense. I think that'd be amazing. But Dami Brown is the third there. I'm telling you, there is a path for Strange to be a top 2 target there. After that, the rookie tight ends, Colston Loveland and Tyler Warren. I can't buy into Loveland, man, because there's so much target share there. You got DJ Moore, you got Roma Dunze, you got Cole Kmet, you got so much going on. I love him in Dynasty, but I can't buy him this year in redraft. Tyler Warren, if you're not big on Pittman, you're not big on Downs, you're not big on that. Daniel Jones could pepper him with targets, but again, my biggest sleeper on rookie tight ends is Harold Fannin Jr. from Cleveland. Bob would love this. Love you, Bob. He would admit facts with facts that Harold Fannin Jr. is competing for slot snaps in Cleveland, and he's got a chance. Not just a chance on playing, but a chance on putting up big numbers. Like I said, anybody out there, y'all want to look it up. Everybody tells me how good of a season Tyler Warren had in college last year. Take Tyler Warren's numbers, put them up against Harold Fannin's numbers. Let's have a conversation. But anyway, like I said, we're going to have to wrap this up, man. I appreciate it. This is Big Guy Fantasy Sports, and we were just going through some tight ends, wrapping up the tier draft list from consistency players. And, hey, I look forward to seeing you guys around the site. Look forward to seeing you guys on what we want to do. Have a good night.